Hi, good people. I hope Nigrandi. I hope you guys are fine. So today we come again on the rules of the road. We come once again to revisit the rules of the road. Okay. So I am going to start reading from. I'm going to start reading from there, going all the way down. We are going to cover all the rules of the road that you are going to find at testini yakho. All right. So I want you to please pay very careful attention. Pay a careful attention. Yeah, pay attention. I'll try maybe to break this down to 2 sessions. Each session maybe being 30 minutes long. So yeah, without any further ado, let's start. The rules of the road are set in place to regulate traffic. This is where I'm reading. The rules of the road are set in place to regulate traffic and to ensure safety. Okay. These rules are compulsory. Okay. And compliance with these road traffic laws greatly reduces the possibility of accidents, injury, or deaths on the road. Okay. So the rules of the road are set in place to regulate traffic and to ensure safety. So it's very compulsory for you to follow the rules of the road. Nagizwa ke? Yeah, folk. So it's very important that we all follow. We all should adhere to the rules of the road. Okay. Then when we go down, then we come to your general rules. All vehicles must have a clearly visible and valid license disc, which is 12 months from the date of issue. The license disc of a vehicle is valid for a period of 12 months from the date of issue. So I wouldn't want you to confuse the 12 months with the 24 months. So there's a 24 months, of which is what? The 24 months is the learner's license. Okay, the learner's license is valid for a period of 24 months, while the vehicle license disc is valid for a period of 24 months. So you must not confuse the two. 24 months is the learner's license, then the license disc of the vehicle is 24 months. Okay, I hope we understand each other there. All right, and then now we're coming to the following distance. So they say maintain a safe following distance as part of maintaining a clear space around your vehicle. Maintain a safe following distance as part of maintaining a clear space around your vehicle. So this is what happens, guys, when we talk of the following distance. Okay, the following distance, let's say this is the vehicle. This is the first vehicle. This is vehicle A, and you are vehicle B. Your vehicle B. Okay. So you must keep a reasonable amount of space between vehicle A and vehicle B. And this space has to be what we then label as the safe following distance. Okay. Safe following distance. So you may not, there's a rule which says that you may not follow another vehicle too closely. You may not follow another vehicle too closely. This is vehicle and this is you. You must always keep a safe following distance, a reasonable amount of space there. Okay. So now they will then ask you, or you need to understand this, that the safe following distance is it's mentioned to be 2 seconds. 2 seconds for light motor vehicles. And it's then explained as 3 seconds. 3 seconds for heavy motor vehicles or trucks. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Okay? But this is a bit confusing because you don't know how am I going to measure 2 seconds. That 2 seconds, how does it work? So then they say following distance is when the vehicle in front of you suddenly stops and you are able to do what? So you find this question as the safe following distance distance is when the vehicle in front of you suddenly stops and you are able to do what? Then you have options. You have options. You will always go with the option which says that, and you are able to stop without swerving, and you are able to stop without swerving. So if the vehicle in front of you suddenly stops and you are able to stop without swerving, then you are keeping a safe following distance. So always look for this when you're going for the learner's license and you are under the safe following distance. All right. Okay, so now let's go down to the matter with regards to increasing. You increase the distance when the visibility is poor, when you're driving in wet conditions, when you are traveling fast, when you are carrying a heavy load, and when you are traveling on a loose surface. Then you increase the distance. That means you are going to keep even a bigger gap. When the visibility is poor, when you're driving in wet conditions, when you are carrying a heavy load, when traveling fast and when you are traveling on a loose surface, then you increase the distance. Right. Now, let's go down to the mirrors of your vehicle. The mirrors. Okay? Sure. Sorry. So they say that ensure that all mirrors are adjusted correctly so that you have a clear view. If you need to adjust the mirrors, you may only do this when the vehicle is stationary. You only adjust your mirrors when the vehicle is stationary. You cannot adjust your mirrors while the vehicle is in motion. Now they say every 5 to 8 seconds glance in the mirrors to check the situation behind or to the sides of the vehicle. Every 5 to 8 seconds. 5 to 8 seconds glance. So that means this 5 to 8 seconds talks about what? It talks about how often you should check the mirrors of your vehicle. How often you should check your mirrors, every 5 to 8 seconds. But this does not necessarily mean that you need to carry a timer to check. Is it 5 seconds? Now I should check. No. But you must keep it in your head that you must check your mirrors more often. You must observe. But you learn more about that when you go for your driving lessons. Okay. Now, the last point under here says that when approaching a potential hazard, check in the mirrors in case you need to signal a change in direction. You must check in your mirrors and in case you need to signal a change in direction. Let's say you are approaching a potential hazard. What do we mean about that? What do you mean about that? Let's say this is your road, my lovely friends, divided like this. And then there's a hazard there. Let's say maybe there's a hole there. There's a hole. So you are driving there. Okay? You are driving there. And then you see that, hey, there's a hazard here. Right. So before, there's your mirror. Before you change direction to decide to move here, you need to signal. You need to indicate. But you will check your mirrors so that you indicate for the other person. Remember, when you are signaling, you are not signaling for yourself because you already know which direction you are taking. So you are signaling for the vehicle behind you. For the vehicle behind you. That's what you are signaling for. Okay? To say you are turning there. You are turning. Always when you are indicating for the other people that you are driving with on the road. All right. And then now we come to checking the blind spot. Checking the blind spot. They say here, before changing direction, turn your head to the appropriate side to check in the areas that are not visible in the mirrors, those are referred to as blind spots. Turn your head to the appropriate side to check in the areas that are not visible. You see, that's where you check the blind spot. Let me explain the blind spot nicely so that you understand it. There is your road. There is your road, my friend. So divide it like that. Okay. So let's say your vehicle is here. Let me choose a different color. Let's say this is your vehicle. Okay. This is your vehicle. You are here. So from your mirrors, on your mirrors, let me not draw it like this. Let me rather do it like this. Just a rectangle. Let's say this is your car. Let's say this is your car. Okay, let's say this is your car. And then the yellow path that I'm going to draw would be what you see from your mirrors. On your mirrors, you see this and you see that. And with the rear view mirror, let me do this. With the rear view mirror, you'll see there. So the yellow pathway is what you see from your mirror or on your mirror. That's what you see. You cannot see an object that is here nor there. So therefore, these two areas, they become your blind spot because your mirror is blind there. Your mirror is blind, hence it's called blind spot. Your mirror is blind, it cannot see those areas. Okay, hence we say it's a blind spot. All right, and then let's go down now. Now let's go down to the maximum speed limit. The maximum speed limit. Okay, there is an important note there. Let me highlight it. They say, my highlighter. Important. Ne? They're saying what? They're saying a road sign that indicated a different speed limit from the general speed limits guide below takes precedence. So that means it is possible to drive in roads in urban areas and maybe you find a speed limit which says that you must drive 30. Okay, it's possible. So, but this will take precedence. It comes first. You don't say, but I'm driving in the road in urban areas, I should be driving 60. No. This takes precedence. Okay, so now let's see the general speed limits. So roads in urban areas is 60. That's the maximum speed. Roads outside urban areas it's 100. And then on freeways the maximum speed is 120. Goods vehicles with a mass exceeding 9,000 kgs on roads outside urban areas it's 80. A bus or taxi carrying passengers exceeding 3,500 kgs it's 100. And these are your legal speed limits. Okay, the maximum speed limits. So it does not mean that you will not find any other speed limits. You may find other speed limits, but these ones are just the general ones. Okay, now let's come to the rules with regards to driving on divided roads. The first one, they say, when a painted marking or physical barrier divides a road, always stay on the left of the division. Always stay on the left of the division. So you will find a question asking you what is the most important rule of the road in South Africa. What is the most important rule of the road in South Africa? And then you come up with, you will tell them that the most important rule of the road in South Africa is that you must keep left. Keep left. Because we drive on the left-hand side of the road. We drive on the left-hand side of the road. Right. And then you are only allowed to cross this division if there is an opening or space allocated for this action. It is a rule violation to drive across a solid dividing marking. It's a rule violation to drive across a solid dividing marking. You may only drive across a broken dividing marking to overtake another vehicle or to make a U-turn. Okay. Right. Straightforward just like that. Guys, please, since you are watching here already, please click on the subscribe button there. Please subscribe. Let's grow this YouTube page, this YouTube channel. Okay, and then now we come to the rules with regards to overtaking. They're saying do not overtake if overtaking is prohibited by a road sign or marking. So if there's a road sign that tells you not to overtake, you don't overtake. Do not overtake if a vehicle do not overtake a vehicle that is stopped at a pedestrian crossing. When overtaking a vehicle on the same direction on a narrow road, pass right and keep a safe following distance. Okay, so you overtake on the right. You overtake on the right. There are some instances where you may overtake on the left. We will get there, but it is very advisable that you overtake on the right, but if there is no oncoming traffic. Okay, number 3, do not the third last, do not drive on the right hand side of the roadway in the face of oncoming traffic. You don't drive on the right hand side of the roadway in the face of oncoming traffic. Do not drive on the shoulder or verge of the road when overtaking. Awushayeli ehlombe lomgwaqo. So the shoulder of the road, we're talking of the yellow line. So you do not overtake on the yellow line. You don't cross the yellow line when you are overtaking. Do not overtake on a blind rise, curve, or any other area where your view of the road ahead is limited. Okay. Right. So now, these are the rules with regards to overtaking. We spoke about overtaking on the left. Now, let's see what does the rule says about overtaking on the left. If it is safe to do so, you may overtake on the left when the vehicle ahead of you is turning right or has indicated to turn right, when the road is a one-way, when there is wide enough for 2 or more lanes for traffic moving in the same direction, when you are instructed by a traffic officer, do not cross the yellow left edge line in order to overtake on the left. You don't cross the yellow line in order to overtake on the left. Okay. Right. Now, let's come to passing oncoming vehicles. Passing oncoming vehicles. When passing oncoming traffic, you may not pass right onto oncoming traffic. You do not overtake on the right oncoming traffic. Being overtaken. When being overtaken, move over safely to the left to allow the other vehicle to pass. Do not accelerate until the other vehicle has passed. So when you are being overtaken, don't accelerate. Allow the other person to pass. Allow the other person. Don't accelerate. Instead, move slightly to the left so that the person has a way to overtake. Okay. Being overtaken on the freeway. Being overtaken on a freeway. Okay. So they're saying what here? They're saying here, if the driver behind you indicates his desire to overtake by flashing the headlights, signal to move over if it is safe to do so. Signal to move over if it is safe to do so. All right. And then they're saying here, do not hog the right lane even if you are traveling at a designated speed limit. So don't just stay on that lane and say, but I'm traveling at 120 kilometers per hour. Why does this person want to overtake me? No, you don't have to do that. Just move. Allow the person to overtake you. That's what the rule says. That's what the law says. Okay. And then road shoulders. Amahlombe omgwaqo. We're talking of the yellow line and the white line. Those are the road shoulders. So they're saying what here? They're saying here, you may not drive on the shoulder of the road to the left of the yellow edge line or to the right of the white edge line. You may not do that. Okay. And then you may drive to the left of the yellow edge line to allow another vehicle to overtake if. Okay, now we're talking about when are you allowed to drive on the yellow line. You drive there if you want to allow another vehicle, you want to allow another vehicle to overtake. But if there are some conditions, if what? If it is a single lane roadway, if it's in between sunrise and sunset, if it won't endanger any road users or property, if you can clearly see any person or persons, vehicle or vehicles for at least 150 meters ahead. All right. Okay. And then we go down to the dedicated public transport lanes. Dedicated public transport lanes. Do not drive in a lane dedicated for public transport or rapid transport vehicles from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays, except for public holidays, unless you are driving a permitted class of vehicles. So, you don't drive bus lane in the morning from 9, between 9 and 4. Between 6 and 9, and then between 4 and 6:30 in the evening. You are not allowed to drive on the bus lane, taxi lane, whatever lane which is used for public transport. You are not allowed to drive there. Now, we come to traffic lanes. You may not enter or cross a road or a traffic lane if your vehicle is likely to cause a dangerous situation or obstruct traffic flow. Do not cross into a different lane unless you can do so without obstructing or endangering other traffic. This one is easy and straightforward. If you see that you entering the lane will cause danger, do not enter that lane or even cross to the next lane. Don't do that if you are going to cause danger. Remember, we are all about making sure that everyone is safe. Okay? Then we come to your traffic circles. So there's a roundabout and a mini circle. Roundabout and a mini circle. Roundabout and a mini circle. Alright? So here they say, at a roundabout, you must yield right of way to all traffic approaching from the right, unless there is a road sign or traffic officer instructing otherwise. So, the person who arrived first, basically, they also apply this side, okay? Because the person who is approaching from your right, if there's a person here, and when you are here, you just arrived here, you must wait for this person to pass before you can come in. Okay? Right. And then the mini circle. At a mini circle, you must give way to any vehicle that will cross or that has crossed any yield line before you. Drive clockwise around but not over the marking. Okay. And then driving signals. You must always indicate your intention to change direction. You must always indicate, I intend to change direction, to reduce speed, or to stop. You're indicating clearly to be seen by other road users using indicators, stoplights, and hand signals. So you don't just turn. You must always indicate. Okay? Now we come to your hand signals. Hand signals may not be used on a freeway. We don't want hand signals. Okay. Then this is your hand signal illustration. Stop, slow down, overtake, right turn, left turn of a motorcycle. Okay. So, sorry. Let me erase this real quick. Okay. Now, turning at an intersection. Okay. Do not turn unless you can do so without obstructing or endangering other traffic. Do not turn unless you can do so without obstructing or endangering other traffic. And then, now we come to obey yellow mandatory direction arrow markings. You must always obey yellow mandatory direction arrow markings Move in accordance with white marking indicating mandatory direction arrows. So these markings, they tell you that, hey, I've grown up now, I'm gonna tend to be this color. Okay, so enjoy it while it lasts. Fork, right, and then turning left. Before turning left, indicate in good time and keep as close as possible to the left side of the road. After turning, adjust your speed to match safely into the flow of traffic. Adjust your speed safely to match into the flow of traffic. So before you turn, and get you indicating good time. So they're always emphasizing this. Indicating good time. You are not turning here and you are you don't just turn, and you don't indicate here and you are turning here. Right. Now we're gonna come to turning right. Then I'm gonna hold it here. Turning right. Before turning right, indicate in good time and keep as close as possible to the right side of the road. Before turning, yield right of way to any traffic to any traffic approaching ahead. Before starting turning into a two-way road, cross the center line so that you turn into the correct lane. To the left of the side of the road or into the correct lane. As you turn, pass left of any traffic island or traffic officer controlling the intersection. So this is just straightforward. The most important thing here is that you must always indicate on time. Right. So we're gonna hold it here now. Then tomorrow we're gonna take it from here. The parking. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe now. Thank you so much, guys.